Yo, 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 we live on location. Me and D Miles are still here in Orlando, but we got them 5G, we got them bars, we getting connected with AT&T. This one is special, y'all. This both of our one of our all-time favorites, y'all. This is the Rain Man coming.
Hall of Famer.
My OG. Straight up, Dream Team 2, Hall of Fame, Seattle Supersonics legend. Give it up for the Rain Man, Shawn Kemp. We appreciate you, OG. No doubt. We love that you came up on us for
this. Man, appreciate you, OG, man. Love you, bro.
No, man, I appreciate y'all having me, man.
Brought to you by AT&T 5G.
First question we ask everybody who come on the show is, when you first made it to the NBA, who was the first person to bust your ass?
Man, I'm going to keep this real with y'all, man. My ass got busted real early, man. I came into the league, man. I was 19. You know how some of them vets, man, they play you to the T, man. I got played down in Boston one night. We was playing Boston Celtics. So the great Larry Bird, I didn't really know much about it. You know, I'm from Indiana. Larry's from Indiana. I knew about the history of Larry, but I didn't realize how he really got down. When we got to Boston that morning, I knew something wasn't right. I saw an X-Man. He was limping around the court a little bit like he was sore. I figured he'd be all right, you know.
Xavier McDaniel.
I figured he'd be all right by that time. I go to the game on the early bus. I get there. They come out on the court. They say, "Hey, Shawn, you starting tonight against Larry." And I was like, well, damn. I'm all for it, though, you know? So the X-Man, he didn't play. He had a sore knee. But my point to you is this. Larry gave me 50 3/4.
Oh, my.
He was hitting everything.
Man, and he talked to me the whole entire game.
What did he say?
Well, first of all, he asked me at the jump ball. He said, "You the cat that broke all my records in high school, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's me." He goes, "Yeah, you're the one that used to dunk my brother too, right? Eddie." And I was like, "Yeah, that's me." He said, "I got you for you tonight." So every shot he was calling, at the defensive end, he would tell me, he'd be like, "When I get down to the other end, I'm going to pump fake you, get a hand one on you, look at you, go off the glass." That's how cold Larry Bird was.
And that's the legend. Like, people say that he was one of the dirtiest trash talkers, one of the best trash talkers. Like the one game he played and told dude, "I'm shooting all left-hand buckets on you." So he really talked like that.
You know, so, being from the streets, man, I was to the point of like, look, I'm going to foul him so hard that he's basically going to take his will. He started shooting the ball with his left hand, man. I was trying to foul his right arm. He was shooting with his left hand, banking it off on me, looking at me, still slapping me on my butt and everything, man, telling me everything.
Now, see, that's something that he didn't hit you. He didn't hit you on the butt. Now I got to fight you.
And then Larry, he actually invited me to his house that summer after the game, man. He told me, he said, "That's the best defense I've seen so far, the best effort." I get
because you still competing.
50 3/4, but that was the best effort I've seen in a long time. You come to the house and shoot around with me. There's something I show you how to shoot the ball, young fella.
Larry Legend.
Straight up. All right, well, first of all, man, we like to thank you, man. It's an honor. And I just, I see you a lot, and you never get an opportunity to really tell, your favorite players, like what they really mean to you. Like when I was coming up, I watched nothing but Michael Jordan, and the Michael Jordan, it was Shawn Kemp. And I got this VCR tape that I've been having since like 8th grade that I traded my Nintendo games and Mrs. games for. And I watched this motherfucker every day from 8th grade on to 12th grade. And this was like my hype tape. It just had to go in every day, some part of my day, man. But I just wanted to show you this, man, to show like to this day, I still got this motherfucker. This how much you mean to me and my game. And
now, when we was playing against each other, if I remember, he was trying to tomahawk dunk on me.
Yeah, because I watched this, because I know what you was trying to do to me. Like, I studied it. Like this was, I knew every move, every way you did it, man. And this was it for me, man. And like I say, you that guy for me. So this definitely is an honor. and a pleasure to have you here and doing this for us, bro.
My 8th grade basketball number was 40
Is that right?
because of the Rain Man, Sean Kemp. That's on my life. No lies told.
No, I appreciate it. It means a lot. You know, that's what it's about, man. It's all about. A lot of people don't realize it's not necessarily about money, man. But the fact that you can inspire other people. So the fact that I was able to inspire you guys, shit, just imagine some of the guys y'all have been able to inspire throughout the years. You know what I'm saying? Y'all played in LA and moved to the East Coast also. So, you know, that type of love, that's good love. You know, that's the love that you can
Straight
spread.
up.
So that's the beauty. The beauty, that's the understanding of sometimes people don't have the nature of knowing about the NBA. The love goes extremely places, man.
That's what we do it for. That's what we do it for that love.
I can appreciate the talk, for real.
Indiana Concord High School. That's where it all started. That's how you got down. I heard your sister was the baller of the family, though, first, before you kind of made a name for yourself. Like, how was that just growing up a big sister that was rough on her little brother and trying to get him to get on that level?
Man, Rush still rough on me, but, you know, the truth that be told, man, my sister was a good ball player. She had some feet problems, so she didn't play past college. But she was the best in the family of playing basketball. Kind of taught me the toughness of the game. And what I mean by that, we sometimes as kids, we the fans of the game. We like the finger rolls, we like the dunks, the behind the back passes. But to really understand the game of basketball, you got to know the toughness of it. To be able to go inside the paint, get rebounds, to be the toughness of it. So she really taught me the intangibles of the game. And, you know, it's one of the things I tell y'all, man, I was raised by mostly women. So a lot of times people think that a man would be soft by being raised by women. Not necessarily the truth, man. Being raised by women kind of made me hard because there was no acceptance of losing when you came home. It's all about winning. It's all about progress. So sister was extremely hard on me, man. She's still on me every week, man, trying to make sure I'm handling my business. So
that's what big sisters
straight
do.
Up. That's her job. That's her.
So you know, I can appreciate that love, and you know, my whole deal was like being better than her. I feared nobody. I don't know if y'all had that growing up when you had a sibling or somebody in your neighborhood, but the fear, get over that fear as a kid to play against somebody.
Yeah.
You don't fear anybody else. The rest of it becomes challenges to you, but the fear of the game is all.
Yeah. We all got that one that you just look up to, like they're your Jordan in your hood, in your life, really in your life. And then, like, once I could beat them, I could beat anybody, basically.
Yeah, and that usually comes about that age of about 7th, 8th, or 9th grade. You usually get that, where you say, you know what? I can do this now. Now I can do this. I can let it down. And that's kind of how it was with my sister, man. She was to the point of like, look, you got to get a little more physical when you play. So I was like, shit, let me go out here to this hood. I'm going to get more physical. I grew like 4 or 5 inches that summer, and then you become a man child. So definitely, sister was an inspiration for me, man.
That's what I was about to speak on. Tell me, how is it that you go from a freshman to your junior year and you get 13 inches in between that time? Like, how in the world did that happen over 2 years?
Well,
you slept all summer.
Collard greens, bro. No, seriously, man. I grew so fast. I actually I had some leg braces on me for a while.
Really?
Yeah. So you know, you grow so fast, your body can't take it. So your knees get weak. They put these leg braces on you to control your growth. Then the point of that is this, man. You grow up and then people look at you a little weird. You're a goofy, tall kid. You got leg braces on. They're looking at you. You're not the same as everybody else. You don't look the same anymore. And, you know, you can either take that and build off of it, or you can take that and hide. I was the type of kid to probably build off that to say, hey, I got something to show y'all. You know, just give me a little bit of time. This is number of growth hormones going. I'll be fine.
What year was it when you felt like, oh man, I'm probably the best, not only in this state, but the best around when it comes to this high school basketball? Like, what year was that? Like, he was like, oh, I'm it.
9th grade, bro. I'm gonna tell y'all a story, man. I played in Concord High School. They're bringing Indiana Pacers to our high school. Steve Sapanovich. They bring him into the gym. He played me 101 to 10. We played through 1 through 10. I beat him 10-5. I was a freshman. I was a freshman in high school. I even banged on him on the last point. I even dunked on him. After that, the school was sold. They were sold, man. They were like, yeah, he's going to the NBA. There's no doubt about it.
I kind of share the same type of situation with you. D Miles is different than us in this respect. Like, you didn't win Mr. Basketball, and it was literally because you didn't choose the state school. So when I came out, the same thing happened. I actually finished third runner-up. Corey Maggette finished second, and Frank Williams finished first because he ended up going to University of Illinois, which is the state school. University of Illinois never even made it into my top 10. So I finished last. Now, Corey finished second because Duke and Illinois was his final two schools. So they played the favorites card, which it seems is the same thing that you were a victim of by going to Kentucky.
Hey, that was all allegedly. That was all allegedly, though. That was all allegedly.
I knew I wasn't going to win. I knew I wasn't going to win Mr. Basketball, man. The day that I picked University of Kentucky over Indiana University, which was Bobby Knight. Bobby Knight personally called me himself and told me, he personally told me there was no chance in hell I was going to win Mr. Basketball in Indiana by going to so there was no chance. So either I reversed the decision or I kissed the Mr. Basketball award away. I told him, go with it, man. I'm going to go down here. So it is what it is.
Could it have been anybody else that you decided to go to in college instead of what you chose?
Yeah, my picks was UNLV, Indiana University, and Kentucky. At the time, them was probably the three powerhouses in the NCAA.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Sean Kemp at UNLV.
Yeah, man. Matter of fact, after I left the University of Kentucky, I actually went to Trinity Valley Community College only because I was going to UNLV the next year. Me and Larry Johnson was going to play at UNLV the next year.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah. Oh, my goodness. Could you imagine that?
Yeah. So we had teamed up and we was like, look, we're going to both go to UNLV and play. I was watching the All-Star game in '88, watching Magic in the All-Star game. I called Larry in Tar Cup and I told him, I said, man, I'm going hardship, man. I'm going to do it. I watched the All-Star game and I knew that I could play in the NBA.
Didn't nobody else convince you or nothing? They was like, nah, I'm finna go and just try my luck.
I had 99 no's and 1 yes. I was the only yes.
Bet on yourself.
Bet on yourself, baby.
Word up.
Bet on yourself. You show what it is. Let me ask you your draft process then. Since you bet on yourself and then you coming out of Trinity, like how many teams you had to work out for and like who all you had to work? 'Cause you went 17th.
Wait a minute though. He didn't get to play at Trinity JUCO, so that makes it more interesting. It's not like they had some game tape to watch. Like, how did that go?
I'm gonna break this down to y'all, man. When I was at Trinity going to school, I didn't play ball at Trinity. I was only going to class there. I actually called Magic up and I told Magic, I said, look, I'm thinking about going hardship. I might need some help with this. Magic hooked me up with some agents. I left Trinity Valley. I moved to LA. The Lakers was hiding me out for months, man. The Lakers was hiding me out in LA for months. But that year, the Lakers won the They won the championship that year. So I was thinking, like, I don't know if they're going to allow a cat off the high school playing experience, play on their team. They might try to send me overseas. So it was like 4 days before the draft, bro. And then I started going out visiting teams. Seattle was the first team that I visited. I only visit 4 or 5 teams. Seattle was the first team that I visited. I was indulged to go to Seattle and play for them simply because they had a black coach and I thought that he could help me out and relate to me in more ways than one.
Yeah.
And I didn't have to necessarily play right away because they had Derek McKee and Xavier McDaniel ahead of me.
What was the feeling to be just drafted to the NBA? Like out of all the stuff you just went through in high school and all that, and the journey that you had to go that you didn't get the opportunity to play in college, and then like you get drafted. Like I know that was one of the biggest days of my life. Like how was that for you?
Did you go to the actual draft, and were you like in the green room and all that?
I didn't go to the draft because I already knew who was going to draft me.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
I had a good feeling. It was only two teams that was going to draft me: Chicago and Seattle.
So we could just chalk it up. You had a very unique draft experience. He was getting hit out for months, not working out for nobody. He wasn't running around doing the whole gambit like us. The Lakers was trying to keep him a secret.
Fact, I never even played in a pre-draft camp.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You cool though. He could have been a bull.
He was a unicorn in the draft, the unknown.
Yeah. And Chicago really lost out on me, man, because in my draft they had 3 picks. Ahead of me, they picked B.J. Armstrong. Ahead of me, they picked who was the big center that played for him, the big boy.
Luke Longley. No, he didn't draft Luke. They didn't.
Bill Cartwright.
Stacey King. Not Stacey King.
Picked Stacey King, B.J. Armstrong ahead of me.
I'm from Chicago. And you just told me that we could have had Rain Man and we picked.
Yeah. And that was actually twice, man. You know, Chicago actually tried to trade. They traded for me in '94, bro. They traded me from Scottie. A lot of people don't know that.
That didn't go down, though. What?
And it didn't go through.
Seattle fans wasn't having it, man. They was raising hell out here. So
now you in Seattle, and this is like on the other side of Earth, damn near. You know what I'm saying? From where you used to being around in the Midwest and the South. Like, how was it to go to Seattle? It rained out of 365. It's gonna rain 360. Like so how was it being out there rain and just seeing? It's beautiful. Don't get me wrong, it's beautiful, but it rains a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot of rain out this way. Don't rain so much no more with the weather changing, but definitely it's a lot of rain, man. It's some unique people out this way. You know, me coming out here, man, these people taught me how to be a millionaire. They really did.
Yeah.
So, you know, I learned how to be a millionaire off the court before I made a million on the court. So those things last a person's life forever because it's teaching you the intangibles about life, man. I made my first $1 million off a bottle of water. Wasn't off basketball.
Really?
When they brought me in, being a youngster here, they kind of taught me how to market myself, you know, brand myself, control my own domain. You know, that way, you know, from high school to pro, man, you always have that in the back of your mind that you can't lose because if you lose, you feel like you're a step behind because you didn't make it through college and everything. So one of the things that I've always stayed on myself is that business-wise, I have to stay on top of my game, continually making money, you know, just to make myself feel good because we took those chances years ago. We didn't take those chances years ago to win this today. We're gonna win this way all the way through.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, so tell me this. You talk about meeting the great people in Seattle and how they helped impact your life. After your first year, y'all draft my the OG, Gary Payton. Tell me, everybody know the character that the glove is and who he is on the court. Tell us how he was in your first impression of GP.
Man, my first impression of Gary, man, that I knew he liked to talk a lot. I had been hearing stuff, reading stuff, and seeing him on ESPN. They asked me to go watch a game that Gary played. It was, I believe it was Oregon State and UCLA. Gary dropped 50 on him in college. I was a fan of his since, man. I didn't think we were going to have a chance to draft him, but we got lucky in the lottery and came up with the number 2 pick. And then and it was on after that, man. Like it was just like, hey, we're gonna have a chance to get somebody good. And then I was like, look, if Gary ain't going to number 1, we gotta get him in number 2. And they promised me they would get him, and they did bring him, man. Gary, a true inspiration, man. Not just because he run his mouth, but man, he a man behind his words, bro. I mean that when I Yeah, he helped me out in a lot of ways, more than one. Yeah, still to this day, he calling to check on me. Shit, he just called me about 30 minutes ago.
Yeah, that's hey man, I call him either OG or Unc, man. He like you say, he a real one of the realest ones, and if he give you his word, you can count on it and take that to the bank. GP gonna be there.
Absolutely, man. His word is bond. There's no doubt about it.
When y'all got on the court, it was a different type of connection. Some of the lobs and some of the passes that he was getting to you, like other point guards wouldn't even take the chance to even throw that shit to you. And you'd be like, throw the ball.
Well, man, I used to tell Gary, I used to be like, look, man, you can, as high as you throw it, I catch it. I don't give a damn where you throw it, just throw it. I didn't know he was going to throw it. I didn't know he was going to throw it to the rafters. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know he was going to try to break it.
Hey, look, that's how it looked, like throw it wherever I'm going to get it.
But no, it was fun, man. Truly, I think we had the great chemistry. But also, man, we used to get into it a lot, but we respected each other so much, it only made our game better. So by us going, we were the type of cats that, man, if we down by 10 or down by 15 and we walking into the locker room, you might see us, man, we might be MFing each other the whole way through. And people might take it the wrong way, but basically all we doing is challenging each other. That's all. It's just a challenge, man.
Yeah.
You know, when we go against Michael Jordan, I'm calling Gary on his phone all day long, man. I'm saying all kind of dumb shit. Number 23. Number 23. Don't do.
That battery in his pack. Putting that battery in his pack. Yeah.
Yeah. You gotta go. I need you tomorrow. Like, what you doing?
23. Like,
what you gonna do? Hey, and that's when his game rise up, and then he do the same with me. When Shaq or David Robinson come to town, he be like, look, don't be doing no dumb shit. Don't get in foul trouble tonight on me. Don't be doing no dumb shit.
Yeah.
That's the type of relationship we had, bro. Truly, truly brothers, man. And I appreciate his love, and I appreciate playing with him. He was great to play with. He's a good dude off the court, smart as hell, bro.
I can remember watching Inside Stuff and seeing y'all do the joint down at the fish market in Seattle when y'all was doing the cat. Like, bro, we grew up on Inside Stuff and really like loved and lived it. So like, dog, I was like, I'll never forget. Like, I'm like, man, I remember we went to Seattle and played, and I remember going down there. I didn't do the whole thing, but I just remember going like, yo,
I just wanted to see it.
Yeah,
like,
I want to go where I saw GP in the rain, man, catching the fish, and we really was like, yo, this is crazy. This where they was at. It was like, that was dope to me, and that was like from when I was a shorty, and I never forget that, man.
How was it when George Karl came to the team and y'all kind of stepped up and being a real contender? Because like George Karl came and, y'all kind of clicked. Y'all got all the pieces, McMillan, everybody to fill it all up, way up, and y'all in the Dirty West.
Yeah, man.
Where it's still is everywhere. So, like, how was that to get George Karl and really be a contender every year?
I'm going to tell you, man, my first call from George Karl came like this. I think George was coaching over in Spain somewhere when he got the job. He called, they fired Casey Jones. And I got a phone call, and it said that, he said, hello, and I said, hello. He said, Sean, this is George Karl, your new coach of the Seattle Supersonics. I just want you to know you're not in the starting lineup no more.
And hung up?
I was like, I don't give a damn. I hung up.
So?
Come on, man. But that's what type of guy George was. What he was trying to do, I guess he had heard he was trying to light a fire inside me, man.
Yeah.
Right. I guess he was trying to see what he got. So first when he came here, man, taking me out the lineup, it lasted one game, 33 seconds. As soon as the clock started, the ball tipped up. One time down court, he was like, Sean, go ahead, get in the game. So it didn't last no time. But he knew how to hit because he knew the most important thing was you being on the court. And if you take you off the court, you can't shine. So George knew that about me, man. So he knew which buttons to pull.
Mm-hmm. Tell me about how your experience was in the dunk contest. Like for me, you was definitely shortchanged in the first one, absolutely. That was one of the craziest ones all time for me. But like, just tell me your experience being one of the, like, in my opinion, one of the illest dunkers of all time, like especially in game. But I feel like you put on an absolute show at the All-Star weekends too. How was that for you?
Well, I think it was, first of all, man, to let y'all know, it was an opportunity for me to create my brand, first of all. So a lot of times young guys look at those opportunities of going to the All-Star game, being in the dunk contest is not so fun or a waste of time, but it's really a good thing to go experience because you can build off of it. You know, my experience at the dunk contest was for me to get everybody's attention inside the building. Nobody knew who I was before the All-Star. After the All-Star, everybody knew who I was. And I was thinking to myself, how can I get everybody's attention? And you can go up and you can do all these sophisticated dunks if you want. But my main thing was to try to rip the goal off the basket. That was that was my only thing. Was I made it? Was I made it?
Dunking hard as hell.
Yeah. Hey.
Well,
dunking hard as hell.
I was like, yo, just dunk that shit extra hard and let these people know who you are. You know?
You did that. Hey, listen, every single time that boy was bringing the thunder. Whoo.
Yeah, so, you know, the rest of it is just about the gimmick. Say, like, you know, with D Brown, he did the, you know, he couldn't see. You know, D could see. We knew he could. But he stole it. You know that's what makes it so good. He sold it, man. He blinked, and I'm like, come on, man. This dude, he looking all underneath his arm. You know what I'm saying? But they went for it. That's the illusion of the dunk.
He pumped up the shoes. Yeah. He had the crowd.
Yeah, he get the crowd going and everything. You know, Cedric Sabalas, I was in the dunk contest with him. He put the blindfold on. Then somebody threw him the ball. He turned around and caught the ball with the blindfold on. Yo. If he can catch the ball, that means he can see through the blindfold.
Listen.
They thought it was blindfold. Man.
Hey, Baron Davis was the one who really went out there with the blindfold, and we saw what happened to him. He missed the whole damn rim. He wasn't even close.
And that's exactly what happens when you put a blindfold. You know,
exactly. A real blindfold. One of the dunks I always like from your dunk contest is when you like went from the free throw line and you just like your leg, it was like your foot was on your back. Name, like I always remember that dunk. That was one of the coldest dunks ever to me.
Yeah, man, that was a good thing. I actually, the dunk you talked about, Darius, that's actually my business logo.
Oh, it's supposed to be. That's it.
Yeah.
Or you swinging around the rim on the oop or something like that. Definitely something like that. But like, you know, when you get to the league and, you know, you in there with it, to get a nickname is like an honor and a badge for people to even call you something else outside of your real name. To be called Rain Man and see people be like, that's Rain Man. Like, How was that?
Man, it's awesome, man. And that's what I was telling y'all before about the brand, about building it. My first deal was Rain Man Water. Created Rain Man Water. They weren't even selling bottles of water in a store at the time. And I had my own bottle of water, the Rain Man Water there. So to be able to create that image, man, and still rolling with it, still out here making business and doing things. I mean, that's what it's about. I think that's how smarter that we have to become as athletes. When we talk to these younger guys, we have to tell them basketball is one side of things, but you have to worry about branding yourself also, and you have to worry about your game. So, I mean, it's a full-time job, man. For these cats to be successful these days. I don't think a lot of people understand. It's not just about making an NBA check, but that Rain Man brand was a label because I wanted to brand myself forever.
Do you remember the first time people was calling you Rain Man, like after the game or something?
I felt great because they was calling me Man Child before then, and I wasn't crazy about Man Child, so I was like, let me get it. Let's create something. They wanted to call me Reindeer, and then they wanted to. It was like 3 or 4 minutes, man. And then I was like, then they was like, what about Rain Man? And then they was like, and I was like, Rain Man, shit, I know it rain out here all the time, but damn, I want to be the man, but I want to be the man in the rain. It was like, no, man, rain like commas, like thunder, like not R-A, not R-A-I, R-E-I-G-N. And I was like, well, shit, well, I don't know, let me think about it. And then I went to sleep that night, bro. I woke up like 2, 3 in the morning. I called him up. I said, yeah, let's run with that Rain Man shit. That's it. That's the one.
Right, man. Like, hey, it grew on you, man. Like, that's one of the dopest ones ever, man. The glove and the Rain Man.
Hey, it's like baby powder. How you say it just goes together. It just goes.
Hey, so you like it's Seattle, like y'all fighting, and like I said, y'all go through wars. Y'all got Utah, you got Houston, Denver, you got the Lakers, you got all these people through the West that you got to get to, and you finally break the ice, get to the championship.
Yeah, and I'll tell you about it, man, because at that time, the whole NBA was a little bit on lock, bro, because you got to remember, Jordan was going in and out the league at that time, so he had retired, and nobody was quite sure. We actually thought that our opportunity to play against him was going to be gone because he had just retired to play baseball. But I had a feeling that he was going to come back and play. And I kept telling him, on my team, he's going to come back and play. So when they announced that he was going to come back and play, man, that was it. That gave us the motivation. Because, you know, that first year when he came back and played in the playoffs, they lost.
Yeah.
And then we took that summer pretty serious. Gary and myself, we started taking the team out to Las Vegas, playing ball out in Las Vegas half the summer, working on some different things, just communicating with the guys a lot better. You know, we trusted George in that way. He was always pushing for us to relate to the guys on our team a little bit better. At first, when me and Gary was hard on the guys at first. You know, when guys don't play at your caliber, sometimes not that you look down at them, but sometimes you can talk down to them because you're really trying to raise their level of play up, but sometimes you're doing more harm than you are good. So we had to have an education of learning how to relate with the teammates, and we did that, and it worked out fine. We got a chance to practice that whole summer and get ready for the whole NBA and plus Jordan, and then to make it there, it's so hard to make it to the championship. Is the hardest thing in the world, you know, and should you get there, then they want to tear the team up. So it's just depending on how you look at these situations these days, what you think. I think we had a great chance to win the championship, but they broke the team up too early. We just needed another go-around, but it was their decision to tear the team up.
Yeah, definitely one of the teams I always felt like that could win a championship just like anybody else. Y'all was beating teams, powerhouse teams that like y'all was never the ones that they was always trying to put first to be like, oh, they gonna, even when y'all had the better records during the season, they still wanted to do that, and y'all used to knock motherfuckers off.
Oh man,
like
at that time we was, man. You know, a lot of people don't know we won 60 games a couple of years in a row. So we won 60.
Yeah,
that's major in the NBA.
Remember that.
You winning 60 games, man, you rolling pretty good, man. You know, shit,
real talk.
Play 82. If you winning 60, you know you balling. Yeah.
We love the shoe game, and one of the dopest shoes, and everybody remember the shoes with them kamikazes, you know what I'm saying? Like the Reebok kamikazes. When Reebok gave you your shoe, like how did you feel, and how was that for you to have your own shoe? And
oh man, that's major, man. Matter of fact, you know, that comes from that slam dunk contest, and you know, I knew I wanted to be with Nike. Michael Jordan had some in his contract. You could make more money than him. Charles Barkley had some in his contract. You could make more money than him. I said, I mean, they said, well, you got to wait your turn. So after the dunk contest, I said, well, when I'm switching shoes. So I ended up signing with Reebok. Thank God, man, they've been looking out for me. I'm still making shoes with them. You know, we're still making this kamikaze shoe still. I think I got 3 shoes coming out this month, low tops. So
straight up.
Man, so it's been a true blessing to be with them 20, 25 years. still making shoes, the same shoe company. But what they did for me, Darius, is they gave me that badge, man. They put that badge on my heart. Like, as a ball player, that's what you want. You want somebody to believe in you. You know, it's not necessarily about that money, about that check, but the belief in you. When a sponsor put that belief in you and they give you that shoe money, it take you personally to another level inside yourself. You say, all this shit I've been doing for all these years, this shit is real, man. I done put this work in, and this is what, this should make me feel like a man.
Hey,
so she did wonder for me, bro.
Let me ask you this, right? Speaking straight to that, knowing how you get that shoe money, I like to always ask the question, like, being frank, right? You know how it is. A lot of us come from where we ain't really had a lot in our life.
Absolutely.
So when you got that bag and you got that money, like, what did you do that you wanted to do? Like, man, I finally got this money. Like, cause I know, I got a chain. Somebody might have got a car. What you did that you look back on, like, maybe it wasn't the smartest thing in the world, but like, look, that made me feel unbelievable at whatever age I was, and I'm glad, that I got to do that at that time.
Man, I got that first shoe money. I went down there to the Cadillac dealership and bought me a Fleetwood.
I said a Fleetwood.
Yeah. I called Gary on the phone and told him I was going down there to buy me a Fleetwood. Shit, Gary came down there and bought him a safety girl. So
on D-Way.
Hey, look, hold on, I'm coming too, bro. Hold on.
On D-Way.
All the way, tell I'm on D-Way.
I bought the Fleetwood, he bought the DeVille, man. We walked out of there, man. We was feeling good, man. It was just my wasting a little money, having a little fun, man.
Hey, Boss Hog status, like, epic day. Can't never recreate that day. That was one of the best days ever, though. Boy, both of the two young boys walked in and walked out. That's how we do it.
I ask you this, like, when you got traded from Seattle, when you left Seattle, did you want to leave Seattle? Or did you want to just go on and start a new journey and just see what was else out there for you?
Well, I'm gonna break this down. Man, I'm gonna tell you what, that's a hell of a question, and I'm glad you asked me that. At that time, Darius, man, there was a lot of things going on, and I'll break this down to you fast. In the NBA, the contracts wasn't that great.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They weren't that great. In my mind, I wanted to break $100 million. Nobody had $100 million contract yet.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't about Shawn Kemp making $100 million, but what it was about was breaking the barrier because I thought that we deserved more money.
Real talk.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think Larry Johnson signed for 84, 83 million, 82 million or something like that. I think Gary Payton signed for 86 million, something like that. The money I was asking for, I knew Seattle wasn't going to be able to pay me. I knew that off top.
Yeah.
So I made sure that all these guys on my team in Seattle got new contracts, including Gary. I didn't leave the team until everybody got a new contract. But in my heart, I kind of knew I was going to have to leave because they weren't going to pay me $100 million this way. So
they weren't going to give you what you wanted.
Yeah, the only way that you're going to get $100 million, man, and I had 6 years left on my contract. You got to remember.
Yeah.
I got
yeah.
So I was the first athlete ever who got $100 million who still had 6 or 7 years left on his contract. Usually you get that as a free agent.
Right. You got up in the middle of it and got up out of there and they had to go ahead and handle that.
Because of that shoe money, I told them they could go.
I sit back and wait. I got a little time on my hand. I sit back and wait. I got time today.
That shoe money, man.
So never gave you money.
gave you a little leverage right there.
Absolutely.
I feel you.
And that's what it's about. It comes down to leverage, man. And I think, that year they had the All-Star game in Cleveland. I played the All-Star game in Cleveland. It was a beautiful arena, man, brand new. Out here in Seattle, we have this old raggedy-ass arena we've been playing in for years.
Mm-hmm.
So, it was a great All-Star game. After the All-Star game, I kind of let the Cavs know, man, that I was interested in playing in a new arena, man. So why play in something old when you can play in something new?
Yeah, I lived in Cleveland and like we got our ass kicked while I was in Cleveland, but I love the city.
Cleveland's a great city, and they got great facility. Great facility.
Yeah, great.
Great facility. Just couldn't win no games. You know, shit, y'all saw it. We couldn't win no games back there.
Yeah, tell me about that first year with them though. Like that was an all-star year for you. You played all 82 games, averaged a double, like highest points of your career. Like I felt like you was on one out there. Like you said, y'all just weren't really strong enough as a team.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the chances that you play, man. Sometimes as an athlete, when you say to yourself, you can only say to yourself when you get in this position, say, hey, do you go after the wins or do you go after the money? Well, after you've been played 7 or 8 years, you got to take care of yourself.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you already know.
To take care of yourself. So I made that decision to go to Cleveland. It was a financial move. Now, going to Cleveland, I knew we wasn't going to win much games. I had to accept that. So I think my first year in Cleveland, man, I played with 10 rookies.
Wow.
You know, I played with 10 rookies, and we made it to the second round of the playoffs. So that's not too bad.
You was going through one that year. I remember that you was going through one on the ass that year.
My problem came the next year is when the league went on strike.
Yeah.
And my ass got hit.
Yeah.
That's when the problem came. But you know, other than that, you know, up until then, it was priceless.
When we got to the league, you was with Portland.
Right.
You left Cleveland, you was with Portland. Y'all had so much star power. Like Portland squad was like some of your favorite players
everybody
ever from top to fucking bottom. And y'all was contested. You know what I'm saying? It had to take a nice coach to kind of get all these personalities because all y'all the mayor. You know what I'm saying?
And it was just at a time where, you know, that was Shaq and Kobe's time, I believe, man.
Yeah.
Going hard. It was going hard in the paint at that time. Kobe had something to prove. Shaq had something to prove. It was a tough task to take on for us, you know, being in Portland. But we had some good battles against them. We even had a couple chances to beat them for a couple years. But, you know, Kobe was a big people, you know, I tell people all the time, man, he had a great determination of the game, a good feel of the game. He was definitely a beast in the playoffs.
Young Jermaine O'Neal was in Portland.
Man, Jermaine O'Neal is something else, man. He was my teammate for very long because they actually traded for Dale Davis and sent him on to Indiana. So
okay.
I didn't get a chance to play with Jermaine. I mean, Jermaine he's one of the best high school to pro talents ever, I think. I mean, especially as a complimentary 4 and a 5, you don't know, you can play him at either one. He can shoot the jumper or to take you to the hole.
And it was one more guy that I wanted you to speak on that I know you had him too as a young guy. My guy Zebo. To see my guy Zebo beat a young Portland rookie and to have a career that he had 20-10.
Zebo he's a great talent. I used to take him to the gym all season, during the season, the whole shebang that first year and work out with him. We knew he could do it, man. It was just the fact of him getting the opportunity. Unfortunately, he had 6 or 7 big men in front of him that year.
Right.
He did.
Zebo, he the lowest vertical, best basketball playing brother I ever played.
That's all facts.
I don't even know how he get all the rebounds. He can't jump off the ground.
Ain't jumping over a phone book.
Sweetest, ugliest turnaround jump shot you ever see.
Oh, man. So much touch on the end of
it. This what I wanted to ask you, man. Like, so we had the OG DC Derek Coleman on here. Y'all both teammates, members of Dream Team 2. He had some very interesting things to say when it came down to with Dream Team 2 beat Dream Team 1. Now I'm gonna stay out of it. Everybody know I'm a big MJ fan and all that. I would just love to hear your opinion because I do agree.
DC said y'all have fucked them up.
He said, look, he said no
DC
question.
DC said y'all have fucked them up. Ain't no question.
What is your take on the Dream Team 2 versus Dream Team 1?
First of all, man, the Dream Team 1 had MJ. With Dream Team 2, we had Shaq and SK, dog. There's no way they gonna get across.
Okay.
And Shaquille O'Neal, and Larry Johnson, Dominique. When Dominique old ass couldn't even get off the beach, man, playing with us, man. So,
hey, look.
We had it, man. Like, seriously, like, people forget, man. That Dream Team, too, was a tough team with Reggie Miller, Mark Price, and the guys on the outside, Joe Dumars.
KJ was on that squad. Ooh, it was some heat.
And I've had this conversation with some of the guys off the Dream Team one. Like I told Charles, man, they was just too old, man. We was young. We was young bucks at the time. They didn't want that. They didn't want that smoke.
The young deers out there. Hey, look, we 2 for 2, man. Look, DC said it emphatically. Sound like you said it emphatically. Okay.
Hey, they didn't want that smoke, man. With too much, I mean, come on, Derek Coleman shooting the ball like he was and dribbling. We put him at point forward. And everybody just go, man, we had to fly, bro. Please believe me. Please believe me. It was some great practice.
I definitely heard.
I like it.
Yeah, great practices. Yeah, it was good playing with Shaq. Definitely good playing with Reggie Miller. But yeah, that Dream Team too was something special, bro.
Hey, tell me this. What was we all got to sit back during the quarantine and watch The Last Dance with MJ. Tell me what was your take from that when you got to see, especially seeing the part when it got to y'all series and all that and seeing how y'all went at it?
Well, I mean, I was happy for Michael. I think people needed to see that side of him.
Yeah.
You know, but for so long, us that know him and that have met him, we know that side. But other people needed to see that side of him. So I'm actually glad that he made that. You know, the way he was talking about Gary, them not being a threat to him, Michael was tripping on that.
Michael out there capping, huh?
Yeah, you know, we had him rattled, man. We had him rattled for a little while, but he definitely, you know, you could only contain him for so long.
Yeah,
right.
He's just always been the type of brother, man, that's always gonna win. You can't really say much bad about it because he's won in pretty much everything that he's done. But it was a pleasure to play against him. You know, I think a lot of him, and you know, we had him rattled in the series, though. Say what he wants. Yeah.
I know what I want to ask you about. Speaking of the games, the guys that's playing right now, when you think about it, I want to know your opinion on a guy that reminds me of a combination of like you and Larry Johnson. And when you look at Zion Williamson, what do you like? Because I know if you like everybody else, we saw him coming up just on high school seeing like crazy highlights of him, and then you see him go to Duke and you see him now. Like, what do you look at him and you think he needs to do to really make it click for him as far as his body and everything he brings to the table? What's your take on Zion Williamson? Because I think, I mean, obviously he has, you know, the crazy ceiling and a crazy future, but what do you think he needs to do to really like connect with his body and make everything hit on all cylinders?
Man, I mean, just take care of, I mean, first of all, just take care of his body. If the young fella take care of his body, that everything else will take care of himself. But the other thing for him, man, is just go have fun. At his age, he should be playing on the court with a smile on his face, man. Smile on his face because he's having so much fun. If he gets his body right, he's going to have fun on the court. I remember seeing Zion play. I remember seeing him at Duke, and he weighed a little bit less, in a little better shape because he didn't have any knee problems or anything. But I think he had more of a smile on his face. You can really tell the people who are enjoying the games because when you enjoy the game of basketball, generally you smile. When you see guys frowning and shit, that's because they're unhappy with the way they're playing and they're unhappy with the way things are going. So I think generally, man, if he just take care of his body, come back with a better attitude, a refreshed attitude, and just play for a purpose, and just smile, man. Smile on the court, man. You're making a ton of money. You're having fun doing what he want to do. There's no reason not to be smiling.
When you started to see him, did you like think like, ooh, see flashes of yourself and things like, cause like how you say you was trying to pull the rim up, like that young boy, he brings the thunder he assaults the rim, and that's why I say he reminds me of like a slash between you and Larry Johnson. When he went at that rim, it is look out.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I think I mean the sky, the roof is as high as he can go, bro. But all you got to do is just worry about the basics, man. I've been liking his game for some time now. I actually seen him play years ago in the AAU circuit. He was doing the same thing, just dominating kids. But his future is just going to be fine. a lot of times, man, when you come in, you got so many people talking to you. It sometimes takes you a year or so to get everything right, to measure out all the court stuff outside of basketball. So I'm thinking this year he's going to come in with a better attitude, a refresh attitude, man, and just dominate because he can play. You can just see in the games that he played a little bit this year. I mean, if he take off 10 pounds, man, he jumped that much higher. He runs that much faster. So he goes to being the same player that he was at Duke. He's dominating the league because they can't stop him. Simple as
Do you feel like your era could have played in the bubble?
I think if they would have, some of the guys would have struggled. A lot of these guys that played in my era often think that they can play with these guys today, but they don't realize how fast and how athletic these young men are and how good that they can shoot the basketball. I believe that I would have had no problem playing in today's era, but everybody couldn't shoot the basketball back then, and everybody didn't have that much speed.
Yeah.
I'm one of the guys who actually can enjoy some of these young guys playing basketball these days. I don't necessarily look at the game and say that the guys in the 90s were better. I think the game was ref differently back in the 90s. But I don't necessarily think that the guys were necessarily better players.
Yeah, for me, I think that's all about preference, about what era you like. But if anybody is being honest, the players that are playing now, their evolution is way faster and way farther than we ever thought. I mean, it's because of us. They got to see us and before us and everything we saw, and then remix and freak that out the way we were just remixing the stuff before us. And so after they got a full library. We just got, you know what I'm saying? And the people after them gonna evolve more and be able to do more too. So I'm like you. I just appreciate it, and I'm always a fan of the NBA. I'm not one of the retired guys like, I don't like. I mean, of course, I think it's a little soft. I mean, obviously, it's not as tough or as rugged as it was when we played, or nowhere near when you guys played. But I mean, I'm still not one of them people that's critical of it. I'm a big fan of all of the guys, and I think that overall, like the talent, league-wide, player for player, it's out of this world at this point. You got so many dudes that could do so many different things that, you know what I'm saying, and bring so much to the table. Like how he held up that Sean Kemp tape. Yeah. They can't do that in the NBA no more right now and just make one tape. It's too many people. You got to make a whole everything about everything. It's like, it's too hard to just do one tape like that. But like back then, you guys, as a superstar, it wasn't another Sean Kemp running around the league. You know what I'm saying?
Right, absolutely.
Like, now it's like five of I mean, obviously you got your unicorns, but it's a lot of talent out there, man. It's crazy.
I agree with you, but I look at these guys, I look at just the talent. I see what they're doing. You got guys that are 7 feet out here handling the ball, making passes that point guards can't make. So you get a little bit of everything in today's game. Of course, the toughness isn't there, but definitely the IQ of the basketball game is still there, and the will to play. And shit, I'm impressed with LeBron at his age, bro. I wasn't dunking like that at 35.
Man, no.
I mean, he's putting it down for real. I mean, you have to give that a lot of respect, regardless of who you are. So, people say, is LeBron better than Michael Jordan? Man, I don't know, but I tell you what, man, he's really still putting it down at a high level right now. He's got to be there.
Definitely. Speaking of dunks, I know I got so many of your dunks are my favorite dunks. Which one is your favorite dunk on that you done had of your career? Which one was the one that it was like, man, that was the one I loved the most?
The first one. The first dunk was the dunk in New York, the double pump reverse. Oh. The first one was always the best one. Yeah, I mean, because for one, I didn't really dunk the basketball until we got to New York. And if you're ever going to dunk the basketball, it's best to do it in New York.
The Mecca.
You don't break it out until you're somewhere good.
When I got in the garden, that's all I wanted. I got to dunk it one time up in here.
I'm one of the people that when I played in the league, obviously up until a certain point when they left, I absolutely loved Seattle as a city. I loved going there to play against the Supersonics. Like, you obviously are one of the biggest faces of the Seattle franchise. Like, how do you feel about them not being there anymore, not having the Supersonics, and what do you think the chances are of them bringing the team back to Seattle? Because I really believe that Seattle was a great NBA city. I felt like the fans were great out there. The team was a good team, always competitive, and I don't see why they wouldn't be able to have a team in that city. And I know that the fans are, the fan base is there and wants it. What is your take on that?
I think, I'm glad you asked me. I think it's going to come back. The team will be back. I just, the one thing is like a country song, bro. It's easy to get rid of it, but it's hard to get it back. You know what I'm saying? So when you have a team, you got to hold on to that team like it's something that you really want.
Yeah.
Because if you let it go, you're not sure when they're going to give it back. Of course they're going to give it back, but you don't know when they're going to give it back. But the best thing about that situation is that this year they're opening up the first year for hockey. Hockey's going to be here in Seattle. They built a brand new arena for hockey, and I believe that arena can be used for the NBA also. So I'm hoping here in the next 2 to 3 years, something can get worked out where the NBA expands 2 teams, because it doesn't seem like they're going to sell. I know they've been making offers on certain teams here, and it hasn't worked out. So they'll have to expand 2 teams in order for us to get one. So hopefully that can happen in the future, because this is a great market, bro. Good market, and people miss basketball out here.
Absolutely.
I'm still out here doing business years later, and it's a good market to be in.
I want to, like I said at the end, I want to thank you again for, man, what you did for me. You a Hall of Famer always in my book, and I know in a lot of more people's books. And we want to really thank you for, man, even giving us the opportunity to even speak to you, man, and be in your presence.
Word up, man. This is love, bro. We know you don't even jump out there too much, so we know you came out for us.
Yeah.
That's major love, bro.
I appreciate y'all. I see y'all working hard. Gary had told me that y'all started doing the show, man, so I have been looking on, so I'm going to let him know that I did the show, man. I appreciate y'all having me.
Yes, sir, man. We appreciate it, OG.